I come in here, I just feel good because I know all these people are going to help us and we're going to feel better. They're with you all the way, so you don't feel alone in battling this disease.
Everything's here. I mean, you get your treatment here, your doctors are here. Doctors are phenomenal. Everybody here is working together.
And I see, you know, nurses and technicians, they know me by name. Hello, Dee, how are you? And it makes you feel comfortable. It's like coming home.
I was lucky enough to be the husband of Christine McKenna. Everybody here displayed such compassion and care. I can't imagine having a better doctor. This is an incredible place, and Darlene Gibbon is an incredible human being.
The whole program here, the philosophy of the Cancer Institute, the mission of the Cancer Institute, under the directorship of Bob DiPaolo, is just second to none. And I think that everybody in this state should be very proud and of what they have available to them here, and they should realize that they don't need to go to New York or Philadelphia to get world-class medical care.
As a National Cancer Institute designated cancer center, patients coming into these doors not only get to see the physicians, but really a team of researchers that are able to take laboratory discoveries and bring them into the clinic.
That whole use of translational science has led to some very exciting protocols that have been developed here that have not been developed in other institutes across the country.
I mean, one of the most important aspects of making a difference to treat people or cure people is research. And it's because we recognize that it's important to understand the science. It's important to make sure that we can fund clinical trials and make sure that we are able to actually drive forward and make a difference.
The Gynecologic Oncology group here is a perfect reflection and perfect example of what goes on here at the Cancer Institute of New Jersey. Dr. Darlene Gibbon and her team is headed by Dr. Lorna Rodriguez, is absolutely amazing.
GYN oncology is a very unique subspecialty. We are the only group of doctors that not only operate but also administer chemotherapy to our patients. It's actually a very unique paradigm of care in this region. I decided to do obstetrics and gynecology because it was a very happy, upbeat field. My first year of my residency, my aunt was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I realized that what I really wanted to do was to help women who were diagnosed with GYN malignancies like my aunt so that I could try to make a difference.
I started having the symptoms which I did not recognize, nor did my doctor.
I went to my regular gynecologist who sent me for an ultrasound.
You know, was having some symptoms in terms of, you know, what I thought was premenopausal symptoms.
Chris was stage 4. The first institution that we went to, which was actually in New York City, the physician that we saw said that he was unsure of the specific type of cancer that it was, and that he was essentially going to guess and treat it as though it was colon cancer. And the next morning at 9:01, I was on the phone with the Cancer Institute. We had an appointment within 24 hours.
First time I met her, she walked in with a stack full of research papers and admitted I was a rarity, and she didn't quite know what to do with me. And I never felt like she had the attitude of, I know everything, this is what we're gonna do. She was always discussing things, always looking up, always researching, always trying to find the right answer.
I think one of the things that makes a good doctor is empathy. When you can be empathetic with your patients and take a second to think about where they've come from, where they're going, and what they're going through, it actually makes you a better physician.
I told her that because my sister had passed away with breast cancer and had fought that for 8 years, and what the chemo had done to her and the horrifically tragic, painful death she experienced, I said, I don't want anything to do with chemo. And she listens to you. And she explained everything on a level that I could understand it, and she convinced me that this chemo would work for me and it would be different.
We have this give and take. I'm a real researcher. Usually I will email her ahead of time and say, I read this study. What do you think about this study? And there was always time for that.
I am actually involved in clinical research, and so I have been involved in protocol development. I was also very interested in the preservation of fertility in cancer patients. We've actually developed algorithms of how children and adolescents coming in to the Cancer Institute should have, their fertility preserved. And from that, I then became involved nationally with the Young Adult Alliance, which was formed by the Lance Armstrong Foundation.
The research that's done here is phenomenal. It's cutting edge, and it does make a difference in people's lives.
When you have a cancer center that is so focused on research and quality care and making new discoveries, it actually improves all aspects of care, not only in terms of their treatment, but also in terms of their quality of life. Everybody truly cares about the patient as not only a patient, but also as an individual.
Their course of treatment was aimed at your lifestyle, your emotional needs, as well as your physical needs, and not just the patient, but also the patient's family, which to me said an awful lot and meant an awful lot to my family.
I work with a group of incredibly talented individuals who are very selfless and work as hard as they possibly can.
The doctors, the nurses are exceptional. They are so caring, compassionate, extremely competent. But beyond that, they care about your whole body. And so they treat every part of you, and it's just they know how that has to come together to make things work.
We're not just this patient with this diagnosis, we're this full person.
And my involvement with the Cancer Institute is not over. I plan on doing whatever I can to support the Cancer Institute in the future, and I hope to be connected to the Cancer Institute for as long as I live.
We wouldn't be able to do the work that we do here without philanthropic support.
We are so appreciative of companies like Johnson & Johnson who have been there with us right from the very beginning.
The Johnson & Johnson employees feel great about having a relationship with CINJ. I see the collaboration going on for years and years, and I think it's because of the fact that we have mutual goals, putting the patient at the center.
We expect increased discoveries. We expect increased ability for care for patients, and we're confident that the Cancer Institute is on a trajectory to become within the top 10 cancer centers in the United States.
One of the most important things is to be there. You may not always have all the answers, and you may need to search a little bit to find the right answers, but I think the fact that you're there for that patient when they need them is the most important thing.
I wrote a letter to Dr. Gibbon, and I said, I really think we need to have an ovarian cancer survivors group. We need to get our women together. She spearheaded this idea. Without that backing of Dr. Gibbon, without that my patients are this important, I need to treat them as a whole person, it would not have happened. And so she's my lifesaver.
And mine.
They're just remarkable women who have taught me so many things about life and what's important and how to handle things with courage and grace, and I feel very fortunate to be able to say that I am their doctor.
Chris had almost 5 years where she would have had less than 6 months, and she had a great quality of life for 95% of those 5 years. So I cannot begin to express how grateful I am to the Cancer Institute, particularly Darlene and her group, for the care that they gave Christine.
I do my job. I come to work. I love what I do, and to be able to make a difference is so important.